Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatata Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivachadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama. Sir, I'll take 5 minutes. I'll take it. Hare Krishna. So sorry.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I think I've recorded it in the wrong place. Just 1 second. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, everybody. Just 1 second. Whoever wants to read, please have your hand raised. And kindly keep your hand raised for quite some time.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I'm sorry I joined a few minutes late, but then, yes. And whoever has not read it so far, I mean, I love Balram Krishna, so I'm continuing to keep that for a while. Okay, Rajalakshmi, hand goes first. Wait, before that, let me first share. What were we reading? Do you remember? Do you recall what we were reading?
Worshipping Govardhana Hill.
Govardhana Hill.
There is a link about Govardhana Hill. Okay. So how many of y'all, before I tell this, I'm going to tell you the story on Monday. Depending on how many of y'all in this group are active and into. Based on that, I'll decide whether to tell or not. Does anyone in this group do not like Mirabai? Why everybody is silent?
Mataji, not too much aware of Mirabai, Mataji.
Okay. Agreed.
They like Mataji.
Not aware.
Okay. So we will assume that either we are not aware, or so would anybody like to know the link between her and Govardhan Leela?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Like to do that? Okay. Because I'm also now getting curious. Now, should I postpone with so much of Entu? We'll try and see if we finish this. We will have this, story today. Okay. If I can't tell today, I will tell you on Monday for sure. But you'll have to remind me. So first, now tell me, where did I leave? Where did we leave? Don't delay all this, right? Brahmanas, all this. Do you recall where we left?
Yeah. The sacrifice is known as Govardhan Puja.
From here? Yeah. Okay. Very nice. Yes, start here. Hare Krishna. Wait, let me just quickly check. Yeah, acha, very less. We didn't complete this. We didn't complete Govardhan Hill. We kept it hanging. Okay. So we have time. Go ahead. We'll have time for story. By then I'll have some makeup automatically. Now start.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The sacrifice known as Govardhana Puja is observed in the Krishna consciousness movement. Lord Chaitanya has recommended that since Krishna is worshipable, so his land, Vrindavana and Govardhana Hill is also worshipable. To confirm this statement, Lord Krishna said that Govardhana Puja is as good as worship of him. From that day, Govardhana Puja has been going on and is known as Annakuta. In all the temples of Vrindavana or outside of Vrindavana, huge quantities of food are prepared in the ceremony and are very sumptuously distributed to the general population. Sometimes the food is thrown to the crowds and they enjoy collecting it off the ground. From this, we can understand that prasadam offered to Krishna never becomes polluted or contaminated, even if it is thrown on the ground. The people therefore collect and eat it with great satisfaction. Can I continue, Mataji?
Very nice. Just 1 second. So Annakuta is celebrated and is considered a very important festival of those times, right? And it is still continued today. So what happens in Govardhana is though we're going to see that in the letter, I mean in the content. So they will keep food and Krishna will actually eat it off. So they will all think, okay, Govardhan is eating. So that's a kind of feeling they will get. So that's a celebration which is still continuing now. Anybody else would like to read the next para? Yeah, you can. Only Ayushi and
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, go ahead and continue. Read the next para.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna
Krishna.
everybody. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, thus advised the coward man to stop the Indra Yagna and begin the Govardhana Puja in order to chastise Indra, who was very much puffed up and had been the supreme controller of many planets. The honest and simple coward man, headed by Nanda Maharaj, accepted Krishna's proposal and executed in detail everything he advised. They performed Govardhana worship and circumambulation of the hill. Following the inauguration of Govardhana Puja, people in Vrindavana still dress nicely and assemble near Govardhana hill to offer worship and circumambulate the hill, leading their cows all around. According to the instruction of Lord Krishna, Nanda Maharaj and the coward man called in learned Brahmanas and begin to worship Govardhana hill by chanting Vedic hymns and offering prasadam. The inhabitants of Vrindavana assembled together, decorated their cows and gave them grass. Keeping the cows in front, they began to circumambulate Govardhana hill. The gopis dressed themselves very luxuriantly and sat in bull-driven carts, chanting the glories of Krishna's pastime. The Brahmanas assembled there to act as priests of Govardhan Puja, offered their blessing to the coward man and their wives, the gopis. Should I continue next, Mataji? Paragraph?
Krishna. No, just
Thank
one.
you,
No. We'll give chance for somebody else. So basically, what happens? He advised all of them to stop Indra Yagna and do this. So there are certain things called Anusharan and Anukaran. So basically, this is not something for us to imitate. It is just for us to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he was able to convince everyone that the right thing is to start worshipping Krishna, and that's good enough. Now, coming back to us, right? We all come across various situations where we'll be daughters or in-laws of different families. Should we also follow the path of Krishna? Yes. But should we implement in our house? No. Because the change of Krishna conscience for them is new. Because for us also it's new. Were we born into this family with this kind of a belief? No. Suddenly we become, oh, Krishna conscious, Krishna conscious. Now, I'm not telling that this is not true. It is true. It is dormant in our heart. It was dormant. Now it's woken up, right? But it is still dormant in their heart. So no matter how much you try and wake it, we are not pure devotees to wake it, nor are we Bhagwan to get that up. So when there is a demigod worship, or when there is any other worship which is based on the caste, kula, religion, please do not stop, go with it, but always feel that whatever you are offering, it's like Krishna Arpanam, we say, right? Which means that everything is for Krishna. So Indra is the Yagna Purusha and Krishna is the Maha Yagna Purusha, which means Indra is considered as the king of all the Yagnas because he takes the share and distributes to demigods. And Krishna is called the mouth, right? The mouth of Yagna Purusha. It directly goes to Krishna, right? So therefore, what Krishna is trying to tell, we will not copy it, but we will understand that he is trying to tell whatever is done for the Lordship, it's okay if we just do for Krishna. Now, the bottom line is, at the same time, like Krishna, we will not go and tell, hey, Krishna told like this in chapter 24, all of you stop other Bhagwan ka puja, hum sirf Krishna ko, we will pray. No, that's not going to happen, right? So let's get our stand clear and let's proceed. So Nand Maharaj accepted his proposal because he was totally convinced with that. And according to the instruction of Krishna, along with the Brahmanas, everybody started offering prasad. And prasad is nothing but, a blessing of Guru and Krishna. So all of them came together and they began to circumambulate, Govardhan. Circumambulate means go around Govardhan, right? That's called parikrama also. So the gopis were all absolutely well dressed. The bullock carts, the bulls, the cows, everyone were beautifully decorated because these are all not just ordinary cows. They are all involved in the in the pastime of Krishna. And as I always say, who knows, this will be our pastime too. So the Brahmanas all assembled and they're ready for the puja. Let me check who else has to read. Acha, too many hands and too less people. Rajalakshmi ready, you only read first, no? So Pravina will go, or I don't know. You only started first, right? I thought so. Okay, Pravina, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. When
Yes.
everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Mataji?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. When everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavana that he was himself Govardhana Hill in order to convince the devotees that Govardhana Hill and Krishna himself was identical. Then Krishna began to eat all the food offered there. The identity of Krishna and Govardhana Hill is still honored, and great devotees take rocks from Govardhana Hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temples. The followers of the Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rocks or pebbles from Govardhana Hill and worship them at home, because this worship is as good as deity worship. The form of Krishna, who began to eat the offerings, was separately constituted, and Krishna himself, along with the other inhabitants of Vrindavana, offered obeisances to the deity as well as Govardhana Hill. In offering obeisances to the huge form of Krishna and Govardhana Hill, Krishna declared, "Just see how Govardhana Hill has assumed this huge form and is favoring us by accepting all the offerings." Krishna also declared at the meeting, "One who neglects the worship of Govardhana Puja, as I personally conducting it, will not be happy. There are many snakes on Govardhana Hill, and persons neglecting the prescribed duty of Govardhana Puja will be bitten by these snakes and killed." In order to assure...
No, enough, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, because I want to give chance for Neetu to complete the last two lines, and because if it's okay with you, because she'll let her have a chance, and tomorrow she'll have a larger para. But before that, Neetu, let me just... Hare Krishna. Before that, let me just explain Govardhana Hill. So Govardhana Hill, Krishna, wherever, even when I went to Vrindavan, today we do not take stones from Govardhan, because the Govardhan Hill has become like a Govardhan mini hill. Right? Because people have started taking, and we know how greedy we are. We don't take for need, but for greed. So we have been stopped taking stones from Govardhan Hill, but we will carry that in our manas, in our heart, and do Manasiga Puja. But what Krishna says is it's not a curse. They say in Bible also, right? The first, what do you say? The worship begins with fear. So they want to inculcate fear, because fear, in fact, a very senior Vaishnava told me, my aunt used to tell, if you don't do this, God will poke eye. So it is not physically becoming blind. It means like Durdrashtra, you're blind to jnana, right? So you will be in ajnana, ignorance, right? Ignorance means blind. So that's the point. So back to Govardhan. Govardhan Puja is saying that you must follow. That's the only story behind that. 2 minutes. So Govardhan Puja has to be performed, and son of... Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you. In the morning, hard copy is here. Give me 2 minutes and done. So Govardhan Puja, everything should be... So I mean, I forgot, Neetu should do the completion. Yes, go ahead, Neetu. Neeta.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Which line, Mataji?
Last 2 lines.
Hare Krishna. Thus performing the Govardhan Puja sacrifice, all the inhabitants of Vrindavana. Mataji, the search button is there. Thus performing the Govardhan Puja sacrifice, all the inhabitants of Vrindavana, son of Vasudeva, and afterwards they return to their respective homes. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 24th chapter of Krishna worshipping Govardhana Hill. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, Dandvat Pranam. So very clear. Just 1 second, sir. So sorry. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. So now back to the very important Mirabai story. I have a devotee here who always is very eager to listen to all the stories.
So cute, Mataji. What's
Yeah,
her name?
so Yeah, so thank you. So basically, when I am doing office work and all, they'll not come. But when we do devotional service, story, and all that, they will make sure that they both come and sit next to me. I have no idea how. So we have taken them as devotees of the thing. He is very particular about Tulsi Aarti. Absolutely particular. Usually, my daughter used to scare me by telling that cats do not keep the trees and plants, they eat them off. And this fellow has a tilak on his head. And you cannot pull or even try and remove one bit of tulsi from from our not garden, from the balcony garden. So if anyone tries to remove any plant, or any flower, they are finished. I am allowed to, take 2 leaves of tulsi, and I am supposed to wash it only in the kitchen balcony, and I have to go straight to the altar and put. By chance, if my daughter or my husband calls and I put my foot in the wrong direction, she will mew until I go and drop the tulsi, fill water in the tulsi. We have that small tumbler cup for Krishna. By chance, as I said, if there is any delay or if I reroute my direction, she will scare me as if she's going to attack me, or she'll make so much of like the way she's making ruckus. So this will happen. So there was one day when I actually forgot, rather I was delaying, and she gives a very funny sound, right? So now the sound whether made me, immediately I'll remember, acha, I have to do tulsi. And from the time I pull the tulsi, or rather I pluck the tulsi, not pull, I pluck tulsi ma, and I bring it to the puja room, she will follow until the tirtha is put, only then she'll leave me. She's so religiously doing. So maximum tulsi puja is done by her than me in the house, or by anybody else. So till I water the plant, fill the water the plant, remove the tulsi, goes to Krishna, she will do the very sincere parikrama of the tulsi plant, of the water, everything, every day. I thought one day was a different voice, but second time also I was delaying. That time also gives a very different voice. Then I remember, oh, this is what it is. So that's the story behind the thing. So when I first heard about Maharaja Bharat turning into deer and all, I won't say I won't believe, but I never had belief also. I never disbelieved, but I never believed. So after seeing this fellow, I'm now really doubting, there are some characters. So more
How old
about
is your
it.
daughter, Mataji?
Huh?
How old is your daughter?
No, it's not about my daughter. It's about my cat. Whatever I told you. My
Mataji,
daughter
she
is
doesn't
19
go
years.
out of the
So my
house.
daughter following is not great. This is my cat doing all this. My daughter though following is, in fact, none of them follow, including me, as sincere as my cat. I'm talking about my cat, which is currently about 2 years old. And she's been
The
following
cat
me.
doesn't go outside of the house, Mataji.
Huh?
Cat doesn't go outside your house.
No,
Like
we don't allow
you-
him to go outside the house. We're very scared, like the baby only.
That's nice, Mataji.
What's her name, Mataji?
This
Cat's
cat,
name?
yeah, there's also another story. I call him Bella Bihari because my daughter always wanted a surname. Because we all carry surname. She carries her father's name. So she always had a complaint. She's the only one not having a surname. So I
Okay.
used to call her Banka Bihari. Banke Bihari, right? Which obviously means Krishna, but then forest, animal, wild, right? So this one we used to call her Bella. So I used to tell that you have a family. So I used to call her Bella Bihari. And we have another cat you saw on the other day, white, which we call Hari Bihari. Now later, day before yesterday, I came across that the Bella actually means protection of God, which even I didn't know. I thought it's a French word meaning beautiful. But later only I understood it has got a different meaning. It also means protection. So I was just telling that to my daughter. I forwarded that text to her. So she said, wow. I said, yes. So this is the story behind our secret Bella. So
Nice.
Hare Krishna. So now I'm going to come back to our Mirabai story. So we'll go for it. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So this is my most, or rather, a lot of people's most favorite story. The story of Govardhan, everybody's favorite, right? And Mirabai has been an untold mystery for most of us. And I take this opportunity to link this to the Govardhan Hill. And what is the story linking Govardhan Hill? So all of us know that Mirabai was a great devotee, and she was in the very similar century as that of Chaitanya, about 500 years ago. And in Kali Yuga, of course, and she was considered as the greatest devotee of Krishna. Now, I am not going to touch upon her story of what we all know as Mirabai. Maybe someday, Krishna willing, we will do. So let's go back to the flashback. What was she? What made her get so involved with Krishna, right? So Mirabai was a very young girl from a different village, not heard of Krishna in the previous birth. she was getting married into the Vraja family. So she was going to get married and enter into the king. She was from a very rich family, and she was getting married to one of the cowherd boys of the Vraja family. So what happened is the mother of Mirabai tells her, "Hey Mira," she had a different name, but I'm just going by for convenience with his name. So she says that you go there, you can go and be friendly with everybody. You can talk to everybody, but only one request I have is do not talk to the boy behind. Can you see the boy in my DP, the blue color boy with golden color outfit? What is he called?
Krishna.
Exactly.
Krishna.
So Mummy is giving an introduction. It is not sarcasm. She was telling very genuinely to her daughter, telling that I have heard that this guy is very charming, extremely handsome, and he has this power of enchanting people. So you can talk to anybody, you can be very free with everyone, but my only request is kindly do not talk to or meet this boy, and do not even see him face to face, right? At any point in time. Will you do that for me? So obviously, this is what is expected, right? So, and she also says that I've heard women, when they look at this guy, forget their marriage, forget their husbands, and go after him. So you can imagine the kind of reputation which has gone over across the water. So Mirabai says to her mother, yes, definitely, I will not meet Krishna with the name and all that. I will definitely not meet Krishna, and I will be a very faithful wife. And she has not seen him at all, right? So what happens is, this is when Govardhan issue is happening, right? When I'm telling issue, I'm not telling the issue, because the Govardhan, if you all remember, this is going to come subsequently. After the Govardhan Puja, Indra gets upset and this huge rainfall will come, right? Does anyone remember the name of the cloud? I'm not going to tell. If you know, you can tell me. Otherwise, I'll tell you tomorrow. So,
Samartaka Mataji. Samartaka.
Very nice, Samartika. So it's that huge, it's like the devastating rain, right? Everything gets into total dissolution, that kind of a rain. So that starts pouring, and when Mirabai is coming, see, those times, there is this palanquin. So there were 4 men carrying her. Obviously, I told she's from a rich family, and the rain hit so hard, they were not able to do anything to save their lives. They ran in 4 different directions, dropping the palanquin. So Mira comes out of that very beautifully, and she is for a moment very scared, because she's a very young girl, like hardly 12 years or so. I don't really know the age, but I'm just saying that very young girl. And she's looking all around with a lot of fear, a lot of rain. Her 4 people have left. The vehicles, obviously she didn't come alone in a palanquin. She had, vehicles both sides, and, they were all gone. So she had no idea what's going to happen. And she was so scared. And when in fear, she immediately looked up, and she was seeing the Govardhana hill. And, that time, that glance, she saw Krishna. She just glanced. She completely forgot about the fear. She completely forgot about fear. She forgot about everything else. And she looked at Krishna for a moment, and she looked at the gopis, and she thought, wow, what is the beauty of the boy? How much are the gopis blessed? Anytime, if given a chance, I should have this person in my heart, in my mind, and I should be, there. Because she wished that she was born there with the memories of Krishna, right? And she longed so much. She longed for it. She said, wow, the gopis are so lucky. And when she was dying, that moment, that last moment, right? Because she was wishing that Krishna, you should be there for me, all that, because she lost all that fear, that whatever she had, right? That anxiety, everything. And her only wish was, Krishna, you should be there for me, like now, right? Always. And I should be there for you always. That moment, she left her life. And many keep asking, if Mirabai was such a staunch devotee, why would she go to Goloka? Who said that she didn't? But her wish to be in the pastime of Krishna actually came. So actually in the Kali Yuga, Mirabai came back again, and she also had met Jiva Goswami and all of them. But more than anything, she had Krishna in her heart, and she literally lived every moment with Krishna. Many felt it was Vipralamba, but actually it was not. She was there with Krishna. She believed in Krishna. She sang glories to Krishna. and she lived the entire life, which she just thought a fraction of a second. This is a flashback of Mirabai, and Krishna gives whatever they want. So Mirabai in our previous life is what she decided was Krishna, and Krishna actually gave that to her. Yeah. With this, I end. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anantakoti Vaishnav Jai Srila Prabhupada Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Wonderful
Enthusiastic
Mataji.
class.
This is
Mataji,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Mataji,
just
Mirabai married Rajput king only
This is a
previous
story.
life, Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji. This is a story I loved. I hope you also loved. Yeah, sorry, Pushpa Mataji.
I love this story, Mataji. I am simply asking.
Yeah, I know. The moment I saw your name only, I thought I should bring it this story.
Mataji, is there any clip of this story?
We heard
Like
about that.
In a pictorial form, is there any clip of this story?
I do not have
Mirabai one.
pictorial form, but
Like
Anushka, why don't you make
for
a clip
children.
for this? Why don't you
Mataji.
make?
For
I'm not
children.
joking. Why don't you make a presentation on this story? I'm not joking. I'm serious.
Yes, Mataji, I will try.
Yeah. So let's do this, and maybe we'll repeat the story again, even if it's interesting or boring, because somewhere I felt very connected to a lot of dots. So I thought I will pass on that to you all, and I have shot 4 minutes beyond time. Yeah. Thank you so much. And
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
I'll
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Thanks,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Sorry, I did
Mataji.
not give thanks, Krishna Prabhu. And sorry, I could not give many of you all chance to read today. We will have a